His condition was awful, so an animal protection group's video that went viral is so sad. This bear was kept in a small cage in a zoo for 20 years. His condition was awful, so an animal protection group saved and released the poor bear to the wild. The bear has been free for more than 7 years now, but he is captive in an imaginary cage that is curved in his brain. Some days he just can't believe that he is free and starts walking in his brain cage. This video that went viral is so sad. This bear was kept in a small cage in a zoo for 20 years. His condition was awful, so an animal protection group saved and released the poor bear to the wild. The bear has been free for more than 7 years now, but he is captive in an imaginary cage that is curved in his brain. Some days he just can't believe that he is free and starts.
Shalom. All right, let me get straight into this lesson, but that's a heavy, heavy video right there because it shows you the psychological trauma that you can have and not know it. Now, this bear is so-called free, but yet still in captivity within the mind. That's why you have to be liberated from the mind, then the body will follow. And where I'm going with this is going to tie into Christianity. The version of Christianity that you was taught is equivalent to this concept. It had you in a cage, in captivity. And yet, we've been sit here to free your mind, but most of these sheikhs, they want to stay in that cage, the invisible cage, chains. Because, let's go here. 1 second. And it just sad to say most of our people, they are bound by this idol right here. They love this idol. This idol here gives them a license to do iniquity, sin on top of sin, be wicked. This idol right here, this so-called white Jesus. And this is who most people still see in their mind, even when they say they're in the truth. That's how strong this drug is called Christianity. Let's go here. And all this paraphernalia of this Christian artwork is everywhere. It's in your so-called churches. It's in your convenience store when you look at a magazine, right? It's all on your television. It's on billboards, on bumper stickers, right? On every website, documentaries. It says Christianity is a hell of a drug, and it is. And it is a drug. Let me show you something real quick. Because you can think you're free in the mind. That's why this illusion is on most people. They think they're free, but they don't know they still bound with invisible chains on their body. With invisible chains on their body and their mind that they can't see. But in particular, going back into this Christianity got so many different strongholds that it's virtually impossible. Well, it is impossible to wake up from this slumber, this stupor, without the Spirit of the Lord. It says hell of a drug. Christianity is a hell of a drug because you can think you free, but you're still going to be entwined in these false doctrines. And that's when we see Jake. They wake up to the Israelites, but yet they still Christians. What do I mean when I say that? That means that they know they are Israelite, but they still subscribe to a lot of the Christian doctrine that they grew up on. Hell of a drug. So to kick this drug called Christianity, you have to go to cold turkey in the Spirit of the Lord. I'm just talking in the metaphoric sense. Has to be working with you. Check this out. It says hell of a drug to have an extremely intense and addictive effect on one. You hear this? Especially that which wraps one's ability to make logical, rational decisions, similar to the effects of narcotics. This wine, this Babylonian wine that gave you feminism, gave you LGBT, gave you Christianity, gave you all these weird, bugged out things that you think is the truth. And they gave you all this artwork that it facilitates this mental captivity. And they lie to you every day. They lie to your face. They lie to you on TV. They lie to you in a so-called church. They lie to you all day, but you sit up there and accept it. It says, what is a mental captivity? Mental captivity is a concept explored by Saeed Hussein Atlas, if I said that correct, refers to a state where the colonized mind is controlled by the colonizer. The so-called white man still control you when you think you so-called free. You still under his system. You still under his religious system. You still under his financial system. You still in captivity, leading to a sense of inferiority, alienation from one's own culture. We'll tell you about the Bible of, the culture of the Bible, but you scoff at that. Look at the multiple wives multiple wife thing. A lot of you women that say you're in the truth, you scoff at that. You hate that idea because your mind has been westernized under this system. And potentially even the development of pathological narcissism. I want to go to the main point here, right here. Superiority complex. In some cases, the captive mind may develop a sense of superiority towards their own culture, believing that the colonizer culture is inherently superior. Christmas, Thanksgiving Day, Easter, which these things go back into ancient Babylon, ancient Rome, but this is the culture that you have adopted. I'm going to read that again. You think you're embarrassed of the ways of the Lord in the Bible, but you people say you believe in the Bible. You're liars. And a lot of this comes from your ignorance, the things that you don't know. It says superiority complex. It says in some cases, the captive mind may develop a sense of superiority towards their own culture, believing that the colonizer's culture is inherently superior. Man, that's profound. Because this system, the way you live, your lifestyle, the way you think has been given to you on a silver platter. You've been indoctrinated in a system and you don't know it. Check out this next one. It says, matter of fact, pathological narcissism. It says, Atlas also at the very top suggests that the captive mind may develop a pathological narcissism, seeking validation and approval from the colonizers rather their own people. That's you, Jakes. You still in mental captivity. This is exactly what you do. I'm just saying, if you haven't been woken up. So you still subscribe to this way of life. A lot of women know that a man is not that's lawful for a man to have multiple wives. And let me say this too. I'm gonna do a lesson on this because it's a dreaded subject, but you have to. It's a whole breakdown with all this, right? So it's a lot of understanding that has to be understood about that situation, this particular situation, right? And it's a lot of wisdom has to be broken down on that subject because it's so many different things that you would have to understand that, right? But that'd be for another day. Intimidation right here at the very top. The individual may intimidate the behaviors and attitudes of the colonizers. Imitation. I'm sorry. It says the individual may imitate the behaviors and attitudes of the colonizers. That's you Jakes. You Jakes, especially in the political world, you Jakes talk that same jargon that the Edomites taught you. You wear a suit and tie, right? You know, on and on. Often at the expense of their own cultural identity. Man, this is heavy. So let's go here. But this goes back into this paraphernalia of this artwork that you've been given through the Edomite vast networks of religious systems called Christianity and the different spin-offs from Christianity from the Roman Catholic Church. All this paraphernalia is scattered through all of Babylon and all throughout the world to reinforce this lie. Let's go here. And that's why we tell our people the Messiah was a so-called black man. They don't believe it because the heavy indoctrination and the paraphernalia and the religious indoctrination. It says, First Maccabees 3:48. It says right here at the top, It said it means so-called white people wanted to repaint the color of the Hebrews from Negro to so-called Caucasian. That's why the book was even excluded from the Bible. So that's the reason why they took out the Apocrypha. One of the reasons, because it broke down a lot of stuff that you would understand if you would, if you knew it. So they took it out to give you a skewed understanding of the Bible. Right here, I put in wise images so powerful. Check this out. This is why they had to put the image of so-called white Jesus to push this indoctrination on you. That's the only way that it can stick. Because if you can't read, you still can comprehend an image. It says images are powerful to the mind because our brains processes visual information rapidly and effectively. An images can invoke strong emotions and facilitate memory formation. So when you say that name J, this is what comes up in the mind. It's imagery. That's why you got to call on the true name, Yahweh, right? That name is attached to this image. So this is a lie. So when you call that name, you're a devil. Read that again. It says images can invoke strong emotions and facilitate memory formation more effectively than words alone. Let's go here. I want to go to this right here. It says memory enhancement. It says studies show that people tend to remember information better when presented visually with images, significantly boosting recall rates. So this is why they gave you all the artwork, the religious indoctrination to this very day, so you can think about the Bible being a so-called white man book. Right here, images. It says images can communicate complex ideas and concepts more effectively than words alone, transcending language barriers. That's what I always go into. Image can translate to transcend to different languages. It's universal, an image. It says right here, it says our brains are wired to process the world visually, with visual information being the first and most important form of communication. This is why they pushed this image. They created it, they manufacture it, they distribute it like a drug dealer. you know? And this is the hell of a drug that's on the people's minds, all right, throughout this devil. So right here at the top, images often have more unique and distinctive visual features than text, further aiding memory. You hear this? It says emotional impact. This is why your girlfriend, your wife, your auntie, your uncle, your grandmother, grandfather, you name it. This is why they still see that image in their mind. It says images can invoke strong emotions and create lasting impressions, influencing our thoughts and actions. But there you go. So let's go here. Check this out. It says right here, so-called white Jesus image, while powerful and persuasive, is a product of historical and cultural influence, particularly during European colonization, and its depiction as a white so-called European man can be seen as a tool to reinforce racial hierarchies and disconnect from the historical context of Yahweh. Well, there you go. Hopefully, this lesson has been edifying. Call Allah Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua, Bahashim, Rachak, Quadash. Shalom.